I wanted to Chris Collinsworth slide into here because we didn't get it. We were robbed last night, so I'm going to do it myself. It's easy to do, Chris. Like, we can make it happen here on Sunday Night Football. What a game. What a Sunday for 12 teams, at least. Wins, there were moments, there were performances. Tariq Woolen, we see you. Quinnen Williams might be the best player in the NFL. Von Miller, Taron Johnson. So much to talk about, and we will. But maybe no one had a better night than the head coach of the Eagles. They, of course, those Eagles took down the NFC East division rivals, their Dallas Cowboys, 26-17. What an absolute Looney Tune. I love him. He's a madman. They are the only undefeated team in the entire thing right now. He was fired up. Do we just give like a little nibble, a little taste? Do we have any more of that to show? No? Nick Sirianni? Okay, well, he was incredible last night, all night long. He looks like he hasn't slept in 19 days, and he was studying to pass his finals, and they did. They are 6-0, and now it adds some serious fuel to this classic NFC East rivalry, the Eagles knocking them off, and they have a stranglehold on the division now, and it was incredible. The Eagles' defense came up huge. They forced Cooper Rush into his first 3 interceptions of the season. 3. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you are just making Howie Roseman look amazing and brilliant once again, coming up with 2 of those 3 picks. And he's already tied his career high with 3 this season. Such a critical addition. And we don't talk about these kind of things enough. Howie just goes and steals him from the Saints 2 weeks before the start of the regular season. You know, CJ, of course, the guy getting in Brady's face and all of that riffraff. And then what does he do but perform for this stout Eagles defense? It's really impressive, really incredible. And I would be surprised if they don't end up going to the Super Bowl at this point. I really would with what the NFC looks like. Jalen Hurts came up with his first career win over the Cowboys, tossing a pair of touchdown passes to both of his stars, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. He's keeping everyone happy. Everyone's eating. And the win is a huge to-do list checker. Like a big, you know when you do one and you've been waiting and it's at the bottom and you don't get to it on the to-do list and you finally do, and it matters. It means something to take down the Cowboys. And Jalen Hurts, of course, deserves to be Philly's franchise quarterback. At this point, it is clear they have their guy. He has passed every test. He has shown so much improvement as a passer. He's now racked up the 2nd most primetime wins against a top-tier NFC opponent. And I know it wasn't pretty. On our 5:30 call, let's stop right there. I'm talking to Marissa for a second, and I'm saying, yeah, how are you? How are you feeling? And she's like, nah, cautiously optimistic. And I get it because, you know, it was nice in the beginning, and then it got a little bit tougher as things went on because, you know, 2 picks in the first half, 36 passing yards, and a passer rating of 1. The Cowboys in a 20-0 hole. Cooper Rush did battle back, and he looked good, and he gave Marissa McBride and Eagles fans out there something to be worried about. He brought the Cowboys to within 3 in the 4th quarter before the Eagles finally put it away. So while the effort and the turnaround was really impressive, I do think last night showed us all, and underlined and highlighted and bolded and circled and underscored, why Dak needs to be the guy going forward in Dallas. If Cooper won last night, it would be a different conversation. This is kind of good and nice and easy for Jerry Jones because I think the quarterback drama that might have been won't happen, and we will see Dak under center hopefully next week against the Lions. Your thoughts at Up and Adams Show on both those squads. On my not so crazy take, I think that the Eagles might go all the way. Okay, we've got some injuries to talk about. We have really fun guests on the show. We got to get to New York, so let's get to my big takeaways from Sunday's action. I was in Chicago all weekend. I'm living in LA for now, and I would really like to be in New York to be witnessing all of this. The Giants improved to 5-1 after taking down the Baltimore Ravens, so 24-20 was the score. And emotions were riding high after this game. Take a look at this.
Man, y'all can see my emotions going crazy. We did it, man. We in MetLife, man. I love it. I'm happy to be here, man. Go Big Blue, baby.
That looks like an older player. It's not. It's Kayvon Thibodeau. At first, I was like, who? It's Kayvon Thibodeau. And that's him emotional after the Giants win. There's lots of people, lots of takes out there saying, act like you've been there before, Giants. Well, he hasn't, in fact, been there before. And he, in fact, has gone 5 games without a sack, a highly celebrated, highly touted, highly, I would say, criticized. Like, should they be taking him that high? Probably not sort of player. And he's, you know, really living it up and on some improbable, almost nonsensical fashion, win after win after win for the Giants, and we love it. He had his first career sack in this game, and I love it for him. And the Giants, they keep rolling, right? They keep getting it done, and it kind of didn't make sense. When I say it's impractical, the Ravens had 406 yards to 238 for this Giants squad. They were giving up 7 yards per play while gaining just 3.8, and yet they somehow still were able to wipe away and erase a 6-point or a deficit rather, 6 points of them left in the game to absolutely shock Baltimore and what they were trying to do. So Brian Dable, Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale, so much credit to them this morning for finding ways to keep this team in the mix, even though there were injuries, right? Daniel Bellinger led them in receiving with just 38 yards. Really wrap your head around that. And they are rolling, and it is nothing short of a miracle. New York City loving seeing their G-men already with so many wins, more wins than they had all of last season, their first 5-1 start since 2008. But that, of course, not the only thing. Their roommates at MetLife, the Jets, stifling Aaron Rodgers, almost a bigger deal. 27-10, not a close game in Lambeau. And Robert Saleh, who has Aaron Rodgers' number, of course, had some things to say about what went on.
The mindset to go 60 minutes. And to give them 60% more, and just keep giving them body blow after body blow after body blow, and just keep hitting them in the mouth. O-line, just keep pushing and just keep leaning on them. And we felt like if we can just keep taking them down to deep water, they'll find out they can't swim. And it was just a mindset.
I immediately thought of when I was in Africa this summer, and I was telling, and I told you guys all the story with the crocodiles, and there's wildebeest, and they're crossing the river and the Serengeti, and these crocodiles come and just lightly snatch them, like I'm taking something off a charcuterie board. Take them, drown them, and that's what he's saying. Robert Saleh there, he's basically calling the Packers soft. It's what he's doing, saying, come to the deep end. We know, and you know that you can't swim. So there's a lot going on in that little sentence alone. If you go to Twitter search and put Packers soft right now, I'm sure it'll come up with a lot of answers, and that's what's being charged against them right now. But this is right now more about the Jets. Packers later in the show. The Jets improved to 4-2. Hello, this is so exciting. 3 straight wins on the road, 3-0 with Zach Wilson starting under center, and for the first time in forever, there's genuine excitement. There's intrigue. There's buy-in around this team and its young stars. Well, this, of course, was a moment. This is Gardner, who we know has antics and all of that, and had himself a game, so he deserves it. But he was celebrating with some Jets fans, takes a cheesehead. He's doing his thing, and then I think it was Alan Lazard. I don't know why. Was he walking down the Packers tunnel? Which I don't really understand the logic of that, but maybe he didn't use his Waze on his cell phone or something to figure out where he was going. But Alan Lazard comes and pops it up his head. Also, well-deserved. So there was that going on, and emotions are running high. We get it, but there are some studs to celebrate in this one. Gardner among them. Also, Breece Hall. Over 100 yards for his second straight game. I meant what I said about Quinnen Williams. He had 2 sacks. And Sauce Gardner, like I said, making life absolutely miserable for A-Rod. So with each passing week, Robert Saleh's receipts soundbite is etching itself into New York sports lore, alongside iconic media moments just like Joe Namath. I'm going to put it up with the Mark Messiers of the world, the Jim Fossils, this team is going to the playoff speech, all of that, and pretty much everything that came out of Yogi Berra's mouth. This is along with that, where they're sitting here pretty to start the 2022 season. Last thing we'll talk about, what else was really interesting? Brian's looking at me like, can you talk about the Bills, please? We will, but not until we talk about Mitchell Trubisky sparking those Steelers 20-18, a win over the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. And everybody's mad Tom Brady was at Kraft's wedding on a Friday night. Like, it had anything to do with this. Are you guys kidding? But what happened was, Kenny gets hurt. He came in, Trubisky did, kind of like midway through the third quarter, and it was electric. He went nuts, right? 9 of 12, 144 yards, a difference-making touchdown pass to Claypool. He had a perfect passer rating on the day, and he converted 5 of 7 third downs that he faced, including a 3rd and 15 and a 3rd and 11 on the Steelers' final drive. What does that do? It eats up all the game time. There were like 4.5 minutes left, and they iced Pittsburgh win while ensuring that Tom Brady never got the chance to touch the ball again. So this was a spark. He needed it, and it brings me back to the question that I've been asking all along. Did the Steelers need to make the switch to Pickett? Did they make it too soon? I maintain it was not the move. I said it all along. This is a rookie. We know the woes. We know the underwhelmings of the offensive line, and we saw what happened yesterday. More than that, was he your best chance to win? Because if you're watching yesterday, no, he wasn't. Mitchell Trubisky 100% was. And the offense, of course, had some struggles with Mitchell early in the season, but they looked so different with him. Najee looked the best he's looked all year. And, maybe there's another chance here for Mitchell Trubisky. Second act out of a former number 2 overall pick after all. Pittsburgh, they have the Dolphins on Sunday, and I do believe this season is on the line-ish for both of those squads, although we love the Dolphins in the early goings of 2022, and we'll see how that all sort of shakes out, because it is wild what's going on. All right, fine, we'll get to your Bills. We'll squeeze them in here. We're 10 minutes in. All right. Well, but it was game of the week. It was. And it was Allen, incredible. Stephon Diggs has like 400-yard game. People aren't talking about Diggs enough, but it's not about the offense, Brian Barton. It was all about what was going on defense. 24-20, and this guy that made all the difference.
Howdy. I done came up in this stadium a whole bunch of times, and I done been at this same podium. And I ain't had no smile, so it's good to come in here and smile. It's good to do our job.
I love this for him. We said this all along. It's so rare that these big deals get given out, and then it comes to fruition. Like it was great. It was worth it. All the eyebrow raising was for nothing. And in those 2 playoff losses to KC, the Bills had 3 sacks, you guys. 3 sacks. They couldn't get anywhere near Mahomes. Right? Mahomes picked them apart in both of those games. Yesterday, this guy, the guy who got paid, the guy who, such a ballsy move to give him that contract, to bring him in to do all of that. Von Miller got to Mahomes twice by himself. Okay? Both of those sacks forced Chiefs punts and pressured Mahomes into throwing that game-sealing interception that I could not believe he threw to Taron Johnson. And Von had a hand in that. Like, huge credit to Brandon B. I don't know why I'm giving the GM so much love this morning, but I am. Maybe it's because I'm from Chicago and I was just there and I got no love for anything going on there in the front office. So here it is to you guys, Bills fans. Bean steps up to the plate, and this guy, let's not pretend he's some, he has a chicken farm, but he's no spring chicken. He's 33 years old as a pass rusher, raising eyebrows, mine especially. 6 years, $120 million, and they did it, and they needed to do it in this matchup. He was worth every penny already, okay? It's plain and simple. And as good as, everyone was, and as good as Josh Allen was, they're probably leaving Arrowhead in misery once again without Von Miller. It's just true. He was completely unblockable at times, and he is the swing of balance of power in this AFC to Buffalo side, and now they own it. And now he just has to do it again in January. It should be easy, right, Brian? We have so much more on the show today. We have guests. We've got Ike Reese in next. Do not miss that. That's coming up. Mark Schlereth is on the program to preview a little Monday Night Football. Oh, boy. Why the push-ups, though? Isn't falling through the table enough? This is gratuitous.